This is the journey to One Africa. All right, guys, I'm not even gonna greet you guys today, but what I'm gonna share today with you, it is very unpopular opinion right now. And I gotta say this from the very start that I might be wrong, but I still need to share my thoughts on this. I think it is, we are in the time that social media and media in general really dictate where we want to go, what we consume, what kind of products are we consuming. When you go on social media, if it is TikTok, if it is Instagram, if it is all these different social medias, or TV, or YouTube, you can actually see even the YouTube itself, like recommending some of the contents. You know, some of them it based on what you watch, but some of them is very strategic. What they want you to consume, what they want you to see. You know, I remember back in the days, you know, when I started to watch this Hollywood movie, and then you would see like, you know, single sex couple, you know, I used to skip those places and I don't even want to watch. You know, when you see like guys and guys kissing each other, you will skip them. But the more you watch them, the more it become like a normal thing to see. I don't agree with it. I'm 100% against it, but it becomes when you see it, or you're like, okay, it becomes normal. And I think this is the strategy that the West is using a lot of time, and the media in general, to actually brainwash us. Even in our countries, not only West, in our country, we see politicians do that all the time, and it becomes normal. So something that is abnormal, it becomes normal, and you don't question it anymore, and you don't think anymore, and you just remain dumb and numb. You don't think outside of the box. And for me, I refuse to do that. And therefore, most of the time, I like to follow unpopular opinion, because, you know, sometimes, you know, people say that the voice of many is God, but sometimes I believe the voice of few is God. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just because everybody agree on what is happening, then it has to be right. Sometimes it's not. And I am here today to talk about Congo and Rwanda. And this is very unpopular opinion. I know most of you, or some of you, might not agree with me, and that's okay, but we can still communicate. And I say this at the beginning, I might be wrong, I might be right. But I think it's very important for me to share these thoughts, because something that is going on right now is not really right. And I shared this last night during the live stream that you know, a couple months ago, actually Rwanda decided to kick away United Nations peacemakers. They say, you guys should get out of our country because we don't see you guys bringing peace in our country. They've been there for almost 3 decades, but nothing has changed. Everything has been going, you know, bad. And so some of them, they started to leave, and all of the troops of United Nations peacemakers, MONUSCO, they're gonna actually move out of Congo on April for good. And I've seen the statement of United States talking about, I mean, in the media, actually Western media, talking about, you know, the situation in Congo is really getting worse, and we don't know what is gonna happen after these troops getting out of the country. So they are listening to that. They are projecting that war is going to break out, even bad. Things are going to get worse once these guys, they leave. So basically, the government of Congo, Congolese people are to blame for whatever that is about to happen, because they're the one that kicked away this peacekeeping mission force, and they're kicking them away, and now things are getting worse. So I don't think it's a coincidence that after the government kicking them out, then things are getting even worse here. All right, the accusations about Rwanda being involved, it hasn't started today. It started a long time ago, right? We can say that it started a long time ago. But things are getting worse right now when United Nations peacemakers are leaving out of Congo. Things are getting worse now. Ask yourself why. The timing is very off. That's one thing. The second thing is this. United States, all right, United States are condemning Rwanda for being involved in this crisis. Let me read this for you. The U.S. has condemned on Saturday Rwanda's support of the armed M23 group in Eastern Congo, whose rebellion has caused in displacement of hundreds of thousands of people and called on the rebel group to cease hostilities. So this is the second point. The first one, that Congo, they kicked away MONUSCO, and things started to get worse. Because right now, things the way they are, it's actually getting worse every single day. Breaking news every single day. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. USA, finally, they are condemning Rwanda. And also it happens after Congo kicked away MONUSCO. So now USA, they're choosing their side by condemning Rwanda. I do remember that United Nations, they did that before. Now the US Department, Security Department, are also condemning Rwanda for being involved. So this is just my theory, all right? It's just my theory. And I might be right, I might be wrong. As I said that, it's just my theory. But what I do believe is that whenever US government is involved on something, it is an indication that something is not right. Because we know the current foreign policies of USA is not good for Africa. And whatever they are involved in something, you know, something is fishy. So let me go back a little bit to Libya's situation. They started to call Muammar Gaddafi dictator. They started to paint him, the Western media paint him as a villain, as someone who just killed his own people, as someone who just worked for his own belly. He don't care about his own people. And every media was talking about that all single time, and all of us were believed. As a result, the President Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, he was killed on the national television. The entire universe, he was watching him being killed, including us Africans, and we are celebrating. Fast forward, right now, Libya, where it is today, is the worst situation that it has ever been in the entire lives. Things have gotten worse. The country that it was having actually good environment, the country that it was actually good, a country never had debt. Right now, it has a lot of debt. Right now, it is becoming like, okay, not becoming, it has already become a place not to live anymore. Why? Because one guy, he was involved. Friends, USA, NATO, it was involved, and it is where it is right now. USA, United States government, does not have a good reputation when it comes to involvement or international interference. It doesn't have a good reputation. Everywhere that USA has been involved, something bad happened. I tweeted this just earlier today, and I want to read for you guys that whenever US government is involved, is a sign that something is not right. Perhaps I'm not right too, but one thing I know, we cannot allow them to dictate how we resolve our differences. We must stand together now more than ever, because a lot of innocent lives are at stake. But also say this, USA condemning Rwanda, for me, again, I'm not saying that, I'm saying Rwanda is not involved in this. But what I'm saying is, when you have international body stand up and condemning one of the other country in Africa, two countries are in conflict, and then they're condemning one country, basically they're choosing their sides. And the sides of USA right now is Congo and not Rwanda. So what do? A lot of us, we believe everything that USA says, everything that USA believe, and we stand with them, and we're like, yes, yes, yes. And what is going to happen? We are dividing the continent. There are people who are going to side with Congo, and we know them, and there are people who are going to side with Rwanda. As a result, if the war breaks out between these two countries, what's going to happen is we are going to be fighting another African war. So what I'm saying is simple. Don't believe whatever that US government says. Evaluate for yourself. Look for yourself. Look for details for yourself. Search, do research for yourself, but don't let them separate and divide us. We know one rule that they always use is divide and conquer. I was reading the history of Rwandan genocide. I was reading the history of Congo. Every single war that has happened, every single thing that has happened between these two countries, it was because of divide and rule. They favor one group of people. In Rwanda genocide, they favor Tutsi group of people, that is the minority, above majority of Hutu. And what happened is, Hutu, they killed a lot of people, Tutsi. And later on, Tutsi as well, they came back trying to kill Hutu as well. Why? Because there's one guy there, Belgium, who stood between them and favor one group of people above another group of people. And we side whatever we want and we keep fighting. So today, we cannot repeat the same mistakes that happened long time ago to happen today. We are to know who is our enemies. We are to determine, we are to choose who is the enemy and who is the hero and who is the villain. We are to determine, but not anybody else. US condemned Rwanda. Who are you to condemn another African country inside of the continent? And we celebrate. Don't believe what they say. Satisfy yourself with your own evidence. If you satisfy yourself with your own evidence and you know, that's good. That's good. Go with that idea or yourself, but don't let them condemn us. That's first thing. I mean, that's the second thing. The third thing. Guess who else condemned? France. All the time, US and France, they're always together, condemning Africa. So this news, I even told the team that don't share this news because it doesn't help. It doesn't help. I'm saying this, that it is not the time for us to pick sides. This is not the time. As Africans, as people who believe in unity and one Africa, it's not time for us to pick sides. The only side that we should have right now is one Africa. And figure out how can these two countries come together and resolve their situation. Rwanda has been urged by France to end all support for M23 rebels in Democratic Republic of Congo. Again. So now you have USA condemning Rwanda, and also you have France condemning Rwanda. This is what I see. I see that USA and France have already chosen their side, and they decided to side with Rwanda, with Congo, not because they love Congo, not because they love peace, because that's not what we see. Let me say this. That's not what we see. USA does not want peace. France does not want peace. We see that in the western part of Africa, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. We see that. USA, we see in the Middle East, we see in Africa all the time. We see in Libya. What you stand for is not peace. That's not what you stand for. You stand for your own interests. And you don't care how many people are going to die, but you've always been standing for your own interests. You don't care. Anyone who is at the middle, if they're going to die, for you to gain your own interests. They have their own interests. Okay, forget about Rwanda and Congo. Let's talk about France and USA. They have their own interests. Are we agreeing on that? In this conflict, they have their own interests. Can we all agree on that? If we can agree on that, then we can debate. Then we can have this conversation. If you don't agree on that, let me know in the comment section. Do you agree that USA and France, they have their own interests on Congo? Congo's economy, Congo's wealth is over $2 trillion. That is the economy of USA and Europe together combined. And Congo's size, the size of the country, is the size of the West Europe. Can we all agree that United States and France, America and Europe, they all have interests on Congo? So somebody commented this on my video, that Africa don't believe what they say. Rwanda is not the enemy of Congo. Open your eyes. They want to start a fight between us to reopen the door for external intervention. Congo problem is not Rwanda. The elephant is standing in the room. All right, so let me break this down. They want us to start fighting between each other to reopen the door for external intervention. Let me go back. Congo, they kicked away MONUSCO, United Nations peacekeepers. They are leaving. Their living situation is escalating. Things are getting worse. War is about to break out, and the tension between Rwanda and Congo is getting high. France is condemning Rwanda. United States condemning Rwanda. More international organizations are condemning Rwanda. So is a United Nations is condemning Rwanda. Congo, they kicked away Rwanda. So Rwanda, Congo, Rwanda, Congo, Rwanda, Congo. Oh, war, breakout. And what happened when war break out? United Nations peacekeepers are right there for damages, to put pieces together, are right there in Congo once again for a mission. In order for United Nations peacekeepers to be relevant, this war, it must continue for them to come back. Remember, they have been there for almost 30 years, and now they've been kicked away. On April, they need to leave for good. They need to leave for good after staying there for 30 years. Whatever that they've been doing in Congo, whatever that they have been doing in Congo, whatever mission they had in Congo, because the mission was not for peace, but whatever mission they had in Congo now is put to an end, and they do not understand how to move on away from that. I'm telling you. Let me tell you this right now. This is February. We're going to March. They're supposed to leave on April. If we're not working up, these guys are not going to leave on April. Because something is going to happen within this on March. That something is going to happen, that United Nations peacekeepers are going to remain there. Watch and listen what I say, Africa. Let me tell you, I know the history is there's very complicated history between Congo and Rwanda. I know it. I know about the 1996, I know about the 1998, I know about the 1999. I know it. There's been a complicated history, I know. But I'll tell you this right now. I'll tell you this right now. Rwanda is not the enemy of Congo. Not today. Not today. Not today. Perhaps it has been. But not today. Not today. They want to start a fight between us to reopen the door for external intervention. They're siding with Congo. They're condemning Rwanda. What does that tell you? Rwanda is the villain. Rwanda is the enemy. Rwanda should get out as soon as possible. Stop killing the people. Rwanda, Rwanda, Rwanda. That's what they're telling you. Eventually, you see African Union, see everybody siding with that. As a result, Rwanda is on our own. Somebody, okay, it's clear. Russia will join with Rwanda. China might be with Rwanda. And what do we see? Some of the countries in Africa will be with Rwanda, will be with Congo. And what do we see? The war. Side does not do good anytime. The genocide in Rwanda was not supposed to happen. But because of the sides, they caused that genocide. Belgium. Somalia and Ethiopia. USA is with Somalia today. Turkey is with Somalia today. Sides. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. France is against it. ECOWAS supporting it as well. AU is with sides. And sides does not help Africa. It keeps dividing this continent. It keeps falling apart. We are falling apart. Africa is falling apart. East Africa is falling apart right now because we're choosing sides. And because of sides, the war is going to break out. But if we don't realize right now, Africa can stand and say, my only side is Africa, Rwanda, Congo. You guys are Africans. You guys, we're together with you. We're standing with you. This must stop. Let's stop this. Let's resolve this without the international intervention. MONUSCO, get out of there before April. We're going to see a lot of collateral damage. They are creating the crisis for them to be relevant. We see the way it is, and we cannot allow that. Let me say this again, guys. Rwanda is not the enemy of Congo. I know, Congolese, you're gonna hate me by saying that, but man, I don't know what to say, man, but that's my instinct, and I'm gonna share with you, because this is the freedom of speech, so that one day you will understand. And I'll tell you this: if I am wrong today, if what I'm saying here today, I am wrong, I will come back here and tell you that I'm wrong. I was wrong. I will own my mistakes. I will be responsible with what I say. I will own it, and I will come and I will tell you I was wrong. Rwanda did all of this. I will come back, I'll say that. But today I'll tell you this: don't believe what they say. This war, this is how war happened, guys. Man, this is happening all the time, guys. This is not new. This is how war is happening all the time in Africa. Everywhere in the world, this is how it happens. How it happens. France, USA, they're all condemning, guys, all condemning together. Don't you see another Libya here? Maybe, perhaps they've decided it's the time for Paul Kagame to go. Perhaps they decided that. And I'm not here to defend anybody, but I'm saying that when I see United States and France involved, and these guys are the most criminals in Africa, something is wrong, guys. Something is wrong. Something is smelling bad. And we gotta address it the way it is. Something is not right. Open your eyes. So my final message to my fellow Africans, Congolese and Rwandese who are watching this, and Africans, we will make a big mistakes if we pick sides. I know for Rwandese and Congolese it's very difficult. They'll be with Rwanda, they'll be with Congo. For them, yeah, they'll do that. It's very difficult, it's naturally. But the rest of Africa, I argue you that don't pick sides. Stand with Africans. I'm telling you, Rwandese people are innocent. Congolese people are innocent. The problem and the tension is between these is politics, is leaders. And those people have differences. If they cannot sit down and resolve these issues, let not anybody let us divide each other. Don't allow USA, don't allow France, don't allow anybody. I'm standing with the people of Congo. I know they deserve better. I want them to be safe. I want them to break out from this M23, but this heavy weapon and every support that M23 receive, I'm telling you guys, the heavy weapon that M23 are receiving, somebody is giving to them. And I know you say that somebody is Rwanda, but I think it's deeper than that. And I can see that the way it is. I can see that very clear. In Africa, we cannot scramble again. We cannot invite war in our house. So please, 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 don't pick sides. Sides will create war. The only side we should be in is one Africa, is unity. Without unity, there will be no future for Africa. Nyerere said, and it is true. Without unity today in the continent, Somalia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Congo, whatever these countries will be in trouble again and again and again, and there will be a scramble for Africa. The Berlin Conference is happening right now in the continent. So please, guys, all right, you guys let me know. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. I'll be reading your comments. If you think I'm right, let me know. I'll be reading your comment as well. And like I said, this is my conviction today. And I gotta share with you guys. Share with me your conviction. The people of Congo, you're not alone. We are praying for you. We're gonna keep speaking, about you. We're gonna keep raising our voices about you. M23, they deserve to be eradicated. They don't deserve to be there. And this evilness that has been done to our people, it needs to put to an end. I condemn it with everything I got. Whoever is involved, whoever is killing our people, I condemn you. We condemn you. Because what you're doing is not God's work, it's devil work. And you will be exposed. You must be exposed. And the time is now. But until then, guys, let's join our hands together. Let's not pick sides. Let's not create war. Because that's what they do. The USA, France, they'll be outside, they'll be, you know what, we condemn you. Don't do this. You are doing this and this. And us here in the continent, Rwanda, you guys, we start going after one another. Yeah, we're just killing one another. They're watching that. They're like, you see, okay, now let's go to pick up the pieces, broken pieces. United Nations peace breakers, they're here already. Man, those guys have strategy. They break peace when they're here. They break peace when they're not here. They break peace every time. Don't give them that power. The free will, it is the only power that even God does not take away from you. The power to choose, the power to decide. So decide it. Look at yourself, do your own research and decide it. I went to read history, man. I had to read this history again and again to understand what is happening. What is going, because some other things, man, you cannot really see what is happening unless you go back to the history. Look at Africa. You had coup a lot of times. And also you had a coup Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Gabon, and some other countries. You had coup, a lot of coups happening. And then here you have tension between Somalia, Ethiopia, Egypt. There's always tension there. You have war happening in Sudan. And also right now the tension is arising in Rwanda and Congo. And ask yourself, and at the same time, you have somebody like Eric Prince sitting down and stating the plans to recolonize Africa. And I remember I reacted on that video. I came to you guys and I said, no. Somebody who says like this, he's not saying because they are planning to do it. No, because they are already doing it. Somebody, if he has a decency to sit down and to say that we are going to recolonize, we must recolonize. These guys are doing it. They're not doing a damn thing. We must go and recolonize them. You must understand that he's not suggesting to do it. He's already doing it. So let me ask you a question. Look at all those events that happened prior to this. I remember the time of this, pandemic that we had. We had a lot of things. We had people like Bill Gates, what was that? Warning us about, pandemic and all those diseases. And they had a lot of things, all of a suddenly, pandemic here is there. You had a lot of events in Africa, and then all of a suddenly, you have Eric Prince talking about we need to go to recolonize Africa. No, they're doing it already. And this is very strategic. What I'm trying to say is, every single event that has been happening in Africa and what Eric Prince said and what is happening right now in Congo and Rwanda, you gotta be very careful, because recolonization of Africa is much closer than we thought. And whatever the breakthrough is about to happen, also the chains, they're right there. So what you see happening in the western side of Africa, it is the determination of the young people, young generation of African to break out from the neo-colonialism. Because this neo-colonialism is about to be recolonization. And the only way for us to survive is for us to look at the West, Africa, is for Africans to stand with them, for Africans to realize that we cannot afford to be divided. That is the strategy they use to conquer Africa, to divide and conquer. But we must unite to strive, to thrive, and to shine. That's what we have to do. If we divide, they're going to conquer us, they're going to control us, they're going to recolonize us. But if we unite, they ain't gonna do that. They're going to partner with that us on our term. If the economy, if the wealth in Congo is over $2 trillion, that is the economy of the United States and Europe combined. What about the wealth of Africa? Is the economy of the entire world combined, yet we're still rich. So you must understand this, that the only solution is unity. The only solution right now, leaders listen, the leaders of Africa, is unity. Africans listen. Forget about this individualism, tribalism, religionism. Forget about that. Oh, this is my enemy. This is my enemy. Somalia say Ethiopia is my enemy. Ethiopia says Somalia is my enemy. Rwanda say Congo is my enemy. Congo say Rwanda is my enemy. Forget about calling each other enemies. Yeah, they ain't your enemies. They're your brothers. And we must realize that sometimes you might have a brother who is your enemy. You know that in a family, man. Not all the time, we get along. We don't get along in a family, but it's still a family. Your brother might be your enemy, but it's still your brother. It's your blood. We're brothers, man. We brothers, let's figure this thing out together. We don't have to speak smiling at each other. No, things can get messy. We can crash at one another sometimes. We can argue. We can slap each other sometimes. But we are brothers. We are family. That should not be the reason for us to separate. That should not be the reason for us to stay far away from each other. That should not be the reason for us to side with USA, with Turkey, with friends, and turn our back on our neighbors and brothers because we're just feeling like right now I don't really like you. No, we are family. We are brothers. Whether you like it or not, we brothers. And we share the same blood. We share the same continent. We're stick together here for good. And don't tell me that you're not an African. Get out of this continent. Take your country out of the continent for you to be non-African. As long as you're in these borders of Africa, you are an African. And we are stuck in here together. We must figure out the way how to survive together. If you're not going to figure out the way, we're going to kill each other, every single one of us, and we're not going to have a future generation in Africa. If you put two enemies in the single room, and these two enemies, they are not willing to settle things down, I'm telling you, they're going to fight each other, and at the end of the day, all of them, they're going to die because they're going to kill each other. But they need to come together. These enemies, they need to figure out things together. Okay, guys, all right. Do you want to die? No. Do you want to die? I don't want to die. Okay, then, okay, let's hold our hands together. Let's not fight today. We don't want to die today. Okay, let's walk away. You walk away. As friends, you get out. That's how you resolve situations sometimes. Not, oh, you need out. This, you have done this, you have done this. No. Complaining, I said, it's leaders. You can't be complaining, you can't be pointing fingers at other people. Those are the jobs of the citizen of the country, but not the leaders. Leaders come with the solution. It doesn't matter how much you hate each other. Sit down. We're going to lock you two in the room. That's how my mama used to do. If I was fighting with my brother, she would lock us, and you got to resolve it. God does not want you guys to fight. Resolve it. That's what we have to do with our leaders sometimes. Lock them inside the rooms, and they need to figure the things out together. You don't like each other, you like each other. It doesn't matter. You don't have to like each other, but you're brothers. We are Africans. We must resolve it because we must protect this continent from recolonized again, and we must protect it from international intervention. Let's not welcome them. Get that, guys. We are not enemies. Even if we are enemies, we are still family. You understand that? Even if we are enemies, we are still family, and we must figure out the way how we can work things out together. Hey guys, as you're watching this video, our vision is to reach 500,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, join membership to support our channel, join Patreon and PayPal. All the links are in the description. Do that to stand with us for this beautiful cause of One Africa right now. Do not forget to sign up for the petition. The link is down below. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.